The offseason is here in the NFL, and the Ravens have a handful of their own pending free agents. Probably at the top of the list, or somewhere at the top of the list, is center Tyler Linderbaum. And, of course, when you have a lot of Ravens coaches going to a lot of these different teams around the league, their pending free agents are going to be attached to some of those teams with rumors, and that's the case right now with Tyler Linderbaum. I've seen a lot of Charger stuff and
I've seen
Giant stuff. But Vinny, what do you think the likelihood is that he remains a Raven?
I would say less than 50-50. And here's the reason why, Cordell. The only way, in my opinion, that the Ravens get him, if he doesn't get the free agency. Because if he gets the free agency, he's gone. Because he'll have, like you just said, Giants, he'll have these teams, former Ravens coaches. Now, if you're his agent, or just put on his agent cap, Cordell, and, good agents do what? I mean, they know what the market is and they know what's going on out there. So,
right.
I'm sure they've had numerous conversations with Eric, and if he would have gave a good deal, and who knows what Linderbaum's got to say that, I'll sign for this. If the Ravens give me this, I'll take it. And if I'm his agent, I'm say, Tyler, unless you definitely want to go back, I can get you more money in the open market. Now, Tyler Linderbaum, he may say, you know what? Here's the deal. They didn't franchise me last year. They didn't give me a deal last year. They didn't pick up my fifth-year option. Screw them. I'm going to free agency. So I don't know where Linderbaum's head's at, but if he gets a free agent, I think he's gone.
So looking at the top paid centers.
What do you think?
Well, I think, I don't know what to think right now, to be honest with you. But I think.
What would you, just put yourself in those shoes.
In Linderbaum's shoes?
Yeah.
You got to be careful, I think, about what you're asking for. I do think there are qualities of the Ravens that you want to keep. You want to keep the quarterback behind you. You want to keep this feeling of being a contender. I know they didn't make the playoffs this year, but more times than not, the Ravens have a good team to where they're a playoff caliber team at worst.
Now, I've never spoken to Tyler Linderbaum. Have you talked to him?
Yeah, we've talked. He was media good guy. Not this year. I think it was last year he was media good guy. So, yeah, we talked to Linderbaum a lot. We asked him about the contract stuff this year, but he didn't really.
He's going to say the right
he didn't really give anything. And, I do think he has value. He had all these deficiencies coming in, the short arms and everything, and that really hasn't stopped him. Obviously, the offensive line was bad this year, and his production took a dip. But that's to be expected when both guards are also awful. Pitiful.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of that you're holding against him. Maybe you can make the case that he doesn't elevate your offensive line, but you could definitely say he doesn't hurt it. I think you look at what these top guys are making. Creed Humphrey is the highest paid center in the league at 18. Elton Jenkins and Cam Jurgens at 17, and then you have the dip to Drew Dahlman in Chicago, who's making $14 million.
I drafted his dad. You know that, Cordell?
Dahlman?
Yeah, even San Fran, Chris Dahlman. Stanford, like a 6th, 7th rounder. Yeah. But here's the thing, about Linderbaum, Cordell, is if you like him, you like him, because like the Ravens took him in the first round. So you liked him, and he had other good. His arms aren't changing. His height's not changing. He's an athletic center, and a lot of teams want that. Especially the teams that run the outside zone and those kind of things, and you can pull your center. So if you want an athletic center, he's going to get paid. Cordell, if he gets a free agency, he'll probably be the highest paid center in the league. I would not be shocked if he was not the highest paid center in the league. And if the Ravens make him the highest paid center, like if they called him today, or maybe they've already, attempted that, or maybe they haven't, probably still a little early yet to give your best and final offer.
Mm-hmm. But if news broke that he came out and that they got a deal done and it makes him the highest paid center in the league, would you have an issue with that?
No, because you know what, Cordell? Price of doing business. Mm-hmm. And now, when I was in San Fran, Cordell, and we lost Mike Shanahan and Ray Rhodes to head coaching jobs, we lost all our guys. Every one of our free agents left. Ricky Waters went to Philly with Ray Bob, and McCaffrey went to, Denver with Shanahan. We lost everybody we lost. We lost all our backup guys. And that's what probably more than likely that may happen, with the Ravens, because now you got Zach Orr up in Seattle now, so knows all the Ravens guys and stuff. So the thing is, like we were talking about, same thing with Anthony Weaver. He knows the Dolphins guys, and you've got all these other guys coming from teams that know their players too, Cordell, which is an advantage for the Ravens.
Nolan, where are you on Tyler Linderbaum? Same question. Would you be upset if news broke in an hour that he's now the highest paid center in the NFL?
No, because that means that the Ravens did what Vinny was talking about, and they worked quickly, right? I mean, we're up against the clock here, and it's kind of like the Ronnie Stanley thing last year where, different circumstances where Linderbaum's going to get more years, probably more total money than Stanley got, but the pressure was on where, all right, if you don't bring this guy back, or if it gets to the day one of free agency, he finds another home, what's your pivot? What's your plan B? And for the case of Ronnie Stanley, there really wasn't a good option. Maybe a little better luck or a little better fortunes finding a center than a left tackle, but still, that might be second spot on the O-line that's hardest to find, in my opinion. So I think they'll prioritize it, but it starts with Lamar and clearing that cap space. Those kind of go hand in hand.
Well, the other thing, too, is, you make a good point about Ronnie. But what did Ronnie do? Ronnie took less money and said, I wanted to stay. And I don't know that Linderbaum is saying
two different roads to this point.
Right. And, just because Ronnie, when you look at Ronnie, they had just made him the highest paid tackle, and then he gets hurt and goes through all this stuff. But with Linderbaum, how upset is Linderbaum that he didn't get franchised and didn't get a fifth-year option? That I don't know.
I would hope
he's got to understand.
You would hope he'd understand, but I don't know what goes through these guys' minds. I don't know, but from a business standpoint, you got to understand that would just make no sense for the team. If you're the player, sure. If you're going to give it to me.
What was communicated to him at the time would have been my question. Like when they didn't hit him with the franchise, or not the franchise, the fifth-year option, was it communicated, hey, this is because it's just you're all lumped together as O-linemen. We fully intend to talk to you. Let's come to the table. We're going to make this right. Or was it just, hey, here's the move, no explanation. See you in a year.
Knowing Eric and stuff, I would think he explained it in great detail, So I don't know about that. But, here's the thing. Another thing that you mentioned, Nolan, is, hell, you got your left tackle, Ronnie, who's on his last legs. Your two guards, as Cordell said, they sucked. Rosengarten got talent, but he's got to get his ass back together. And then if you have no center, what the heck? If I'm Lamar, I'm like,
And that's the thing. I think you after the year that they just had with that offensive line, the last thing you can do is let your center walk. That that everybody wants, that everybody's going to jump over. It's not like you have an aging center or you have somebody that's declining. This dude is expected to be entering his prime years. I just think that would send the wrong message if you're going to then punt at the middle of your offensive line.
Well, all of a sudden then, too, all right, draft-wise,
And it adds another need now.
Because I see their needs right now, Cordell, is O-line, D-line, which I include pass rush or D-tackle, and corner. Those, to me, are the three things that they need. So, like you said, you're taking your 3-time Pro Bowl center and losing your best, youngest O-lineman. So I don't, and they may be hamstrung because of, maybe you go to Lamar and you say, hey, Lamar, for us to make him the highest paid center, we need your money. Mm-hmm. We need your cap. If not, we're going with Bullock or whoever.
So that's a good talking point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure once he starts thinking about it.
Lamar, you were sacked 30 sometimes last year. You want to be sacked 50 times?
All right. Yeah, I don't think he wants to do that. And you made the point of DeCosta. Look, he said it multiple times. He wants to keep his good players, as many as he can, obviously. Yeah. I would imagine that would include Tyler Linderbaum.
Now,
so we'll
I think
see.
Declan Doyle, if I'm not mistaken, they were at Iowa together. Declan Doyle and Linderbaum. So I think, all Iowa dudes know each other anyhow. And I think Chris Doyle, who was the strength coach, Declan's dad, so I think there's a familiarity with Declan and Tyler.